Let's take a wild ride through the craziest, most absurd stadiums on Earth. Places so unbelievable you'd think they belonged on some other planet. These stadiums have witnessed legendary brawls, outrageous fan behavior, notorious heckling, and all sorts of drama that will make you ask, why are they still standing? But hey, here they are, and they have stories to tell. We're going to check out the top stadiums that really shouldn't exist on Earth. But they do. Number 7. Boca Juniors La Bombonera in Argentina. La Bombonera, a must-visit for all the football fanatics wanting to experience the ultimate adrenaline rush, but definitely not sporting the jersey of the club's arch-nemesis. The stadium is known to have an intense reputation because of its peculiar shape, electric atmosphere, and fans that would not be less than a tornado of flames. Boca Juniors doesn't just go for a match, they take it by commanding. It's more of a crucible of pure passion, and at times pure chaos. Now, La Bombonera, meaning the chocolate box, may sound like something sweet, but it's far from it. This stadium, in the heart of Buenos Aires, will be the one known to become one of the loudest, most intense places to watch a game of football. The configuration of this stadium, with its impossibly steep seating on one side, literally lets fans tower over the field, giving them a bird's eye view for screaming and chanting down at the players. But the passion does not end here with the yelling. Fights within the stadium and outside too can easily erupt during huge and important games, mainly against teams Boca has a match with. Let's just say that if you're in the stadium when things start to get hot, a fight could just be around the corner. Boca Juniors fans, being well-known heat bringers, can make anyone feel the heat for miles around. The stadium even shakes when the fans jump and cinch. And so if you ever visit, you'll understand why the locals call it hell. Number 6. Estadio Nacional in Chile. Entering Estadio Nacional gives one a feeling of history being hung in the air like fog. What is now just another stadium was once a heart for a national tragedy. For Chileans, it is not Estadio Nacional, but the symbol that stayed as resistance, survival, and sometimes lingering fear. Any goal scored at the stadium, in this case, feels heavier than usual. Estadio Nacional is probably Chile's most notorious stadium for the dark history attached to it. After the coup, spearheaded by dictator Augusto Pinochet in 1973, the stadium became a temporary jail for thousands of political prisoners. Who would think that where cheers for goals happen now, destinies were once completely altered because of yelling the wrong refrain? Even after what occurred there tragically, Estadio Nacional was still holding concerts, sports events, and even highly passionate football matches. Still, the atmosphere is hauntingly chilling. The whole atmosphere of the stadium is somehow alike to something haunted, reminding people of a past that is somewhat in conflict with the usual stadium atmosphere. Going to Estadio Nacional is not just about the sport. It's almost like stepping into a history book, with a dark controversial chapter that lingers around it. Number 5. Azteca Stadium in Mexico. There's no place like Estadio Azteca where legends are made and champions are crowned. But it's known for glorious moments, notorious for pushing players and fans to the limit. Thin air, heavy smog, and a fiery crowd feel like a pressure cooker here. It's said that playing here is not a match, but a true test of endurance and grit. This stadium is one of the most iconic places to have witnessed some of the world's most fantastic moments. But legendary soccer isn't the only great, notorious fame of the stadium. Its crowds are also chaotic, and its altitude is crazy, not to mention pollution. It sits above 7,000 feet into the air. The air is thin enough that it's really tough for visiting players to breathe. Before halftime, they're coming out gasping as if they'd run a marathon. On top of that, the Azteca had hosted some truly epic fights in the stands. When it comes to matches involving the Mexican national team and visiting countries, even things can get so heated that some fans will throw objects onto the field, start brawls, or even set things on fire. And do not even speak about the air quality. At times, you can hardly be able to view the game through all the smoke and pollution. Not a place for a relaxed Sunday game. Number 4. Pyongyang's Rungrado 1st of May Stadium in North Korea. Welcome to one of the world's largest stadiums. Here, the lines between sports and spectacle blur. North Korea's Rungrado 1st of May Stadium is a structure unlike any other. Seating over 100,000 spectators, it's an absolute grandstand with a stage for orchestrated events, from sporting contests to mental-bending large performances, where every moment is choreographed. It is part stadium and part showpiece. Pyongyang has witnessed a few of the more bizarre events that you could conceive of, including the inside of the Rungrado 1st of May Stadium. It's not simply a sports venue. That's also where they hold their infamous Airang Mask Games, an enormous show of gymnastics and propaganda meant to commemorate the leaders of North Korea. Well, so you probably guessed it, the crowd is not that typical loud bunch of enthusiasts. The entire event feels more like a masterly choreographed show and tell, and freedom of expression is not particularly encouraged here. Security is tightly organized, and it looks more like a military parade than like any other soccer match. Thus, while being a great spectacle, the experience itself is surreal, eerie, and almost dystopian. Number 3. Old Trafford in England. Old Trafford. For many, it's the theater of dreams, where Manchester United, one of the world's biggest club, plays. But no matter how much the stadium is built, it has begun to wear out and outlive its glory. No other source is more replete with complaints about outdated facilities, leaky roofs, and questionable seating arrangements than that of Old Trafford. Even jokers say that the theater of dreams is turning into the theater of leaks. Big matches often inflame tempers and have seen some of the most intense on-field battles, coupled with off-field brawls between Manchester United and Liverpool. Fights between fans? Almost a guarantee, and the creaking structure of the stadium at times makes it seem like a ticking time bomb. Old Trafford is nostalgia mixed with danger and all adrenaline. Number 2. Stadio San Paolo in Italy. This is not just a stadium, it's a temple of passion for football, where the spirit of Maradona still seems to hang in the air. Famous for its fanatical support base, visiting fans on match day will feel somewhat like viewing from an ancient coliseum, almost carrying an intensity that would make a gladiator feel totally at home. Visiting fans? Well, let's just say that they're advised to tread carefully. Stadio San Paolo in Naples is famous and infamous. It has witnessed legends like Maradona in history, yet has also been a witness to some pretty intense clashes between fans. The passionate loyalty of Napoli fans finds its reputation in being ruthlessly venomous when supporting their team. Rival fans often avoid games here, and those who dare may run for cover if things go wrong. The stadium itself, more like something from another time, cracked seats and a whole lot of outdated facilities. It's intense, sometimes intimidating to visitors who play here. The Ultras of Napoli, a hardcore fan group, set the place alight with pyrotechnics and deafening chants while sometimes engaging in some good old scuffle. Now, if you're a fan craving a safe view of the game, then you're best wanting to skip this one. Number 1. Brazil's Maracanã Stadium. There is nowhere like Rio's Maracanã to produce footballing legends and to break the hearts of droves. The stadium was constructed to be the venue for the 1950 World Cup, where there were moments of joy and sorrow and utter chaos. This is more than just a stadium, it's a shrine to Brazilian football, with emotions running so high it should be a sport in themselves. Maracanã, the place where legends are born. Here, Pelé scored his 1000th goal, and here Brazil won its World Cup. Yet despite all this, the Maracanã is a hotbed of controversy. Renovation after renovation, the stadium has seen many, one more expensive than the previous one, and yet it is still stuck with problems like shoddy maintenance and broken seats quicker than it could be changed. Then of course there's the crowd. Brazilians are some of the most passionate football fans in the world, and when things go wrong, emotions run high. It's not unusual for fights to break out in the stands when a high-stakes match is on. The Maracanã is both a temple to the beautiful game and a danger zone where passions boil over. Go for the game, but be ready for anything. From crumbling ancient coliseums to eerie empty monuments of grandeur, the stadiums stand to witness everything. There is as much as part of history of sports as the athletes and teams that ran the show there, staging events so wild, so controversial, and so bizarre that they might seem to be cinematic enough. But on this earth, they're pretty real. Let us know in the comments which of these notorious venues you'd run the risk of a ticket for, or if you think any other stadiums deserved a spot on this list. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned for more jaw-dropping lists and tales from the world of sports and beyond. Until next time, keep your eyes on the field and your hands off the flares. These legendary football stadiums once roared with fans, but now they're gone. Click to uncover the story behind the stadiums that no longer exist.